everyone. Welcome to the panel discussion organized by the ARC Exchange. It's an initiative by Global Advertisers Private Limited. I am Preksha Bair, Director of Firewalls Design. It's a space design studio based in Delhi. So today we have four panelists. Our first panelist is Mr. Miraj Hassan, CMO, Wellspun Flooring, a graduate from MICA. He is a marketing and communication professional with 20 years of rich and expansive experience. Hi, Miraj.
Hi people. How are you? Hi, Preksha. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is safe and sound.
Yes. So Miraj has an expansive experience in corporate houses, creative agencies, and brands. Among his many other interests, he also loves music and is a poet and looks forward to publish his book very soon. Our second panelist here is Ankit Jain. He is a CA in practice. Hi, Ankit.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Preksha.
Hi. Based in Mumbai, he has been practicing as a CA from last 10 years. He's a graduate from Sydenham College of Commerce and Economics, Mumbai, and has also done his master's in fintech from SP Jain Global Business School. Our third panelist here today is Pritesh Meshri. Hi, Pritesh.
Hi, everyone.
He is founder of Prit Designers, an interior design firm based in Mumbai. Pritesh has an impressive career span of 18 years and has been a part of diverse projects from retail, residential to commercial interior design projects. He also has a deep interest in spirituality, as he mentioned, and has also designed many premium spiritual spaces with a very modern approach to design. Our last panelist is Mr. Ashok Kularia, Managing Director of A&J Group. A&J Group is India's leading design and build firm. It has an in-house production capacity of 2 lakh square feet and have presence across various cities in India and Hong Kong. Now, today's topic of discussion is, can India be a global manufacturing hub for building materials? One of the things that COVID has brought on to us to actually rethink and realign our perception to bring the change that is needed. If we see in the recent past, the government has also spoken about being independent and Atmanirbhar, improving our own economy by focusing on our needs and becoming self-sufficient in production processes. We have witnessed that in the area of medicine, where pharmaceutical manufacturers in India have taken a leap by introducing various new projects to develop COVID-19 medications. And with the current decision of banning Chinese apps directly leads to an opportunity for Indian app developers and software companies. So can same happen in the area of interior design and manufacturing processes in India? The real question is that if we want to become made in India and self-reliant, if that is the road ahead, how to actually do it? I have four panelists with me here, and let's begin with now taking it to Pritesh, who's gonna elaborate more on this. Hi, Pritesh. So, Pritesh, as we see that there is interior designers play a very, very unique role because they bridge the gap between clients' expectations and what products can be sourced from the manufacturer. How do you see the role of, what is the choice barrier here, from a client side to buy local products? How do you think we can help in shifting the perception and making made in India as the way ahead?
I think let me touch first on how can we India can be a global manufacturing hub. So I think it's a great opportunity for all of us. As Ankit mentioned, it is a great, I think if we focus on bridging the gap between manufacturer, designer and developer and customer, and if we focus on vertical and international horizontal integration, this will really change. And if we get support from the state and central government to explore this industry, this can completely change the view of our industry in our market. And the question you mentioned about this, I think we as a designer will really play an important role in terms of bridging the gap, because we need to really work closely with the manufacturing companies we can also focus on aligning the stakeholders, where we also focus on detailing of our brand and can match difference between the price, which is a major gap between customer and manufacturer. And if you overcome all this thing, and if we plan to design something very unique and kind concept of future interior global manufacturing industry in India, where all this raw materials are collectively taken into consideration to one area, I think we can make a lot of difference in terms of which is a hurdle, which we can mention is as an international type infrastructure, which will create cluster of all related factors connecting to the furniture industry in one space, which will also result in better quality and most competitive pricing.
Yes,
Like,
I was going to come to this. That pricing is one of the most deciding factors, or has been the focus, with quality and timelines when it comes to choice of a place from where clients like to source. How do you see that, we can give good quality at the right pricing in terms of working with manufacturers? Because yes, as initially Ankit mentioned, that it's not just the final product, a lot of raw material is also sourced from China, so it is not just one thing, the entire chain has to be aligned to get this ahead.
can you just pardon it again? Because I can't. Just can you just pardon it? Your voice. The question.
Sorry?
Can you just pardon your question again, please?
My question is about pricing. That while, as you mentioned, the designers play a very important role with manufacturers. One is to develop products which are made in India. The pricing part is where we need to work ahead. How do you see we can work on that?
So
Yeah.
the pricing part, I think we can only work with pricing part, because if you ask any manufacturer, they are looking for production, and there's a huge gap between the production and the delivery and the expectation from the customers here in India. So we, as a designer, if we put proper awareness to the product, because everywhere, whenever the client demands, the architect or the designer, they directly in touch with the customers, and they know the exact requirement and the budget, and that can really play important role, because if we can educate this properly, not only to the customer but also to the manufacturer, so the manufacturer can also think on that line. And when we change our detailing in terms of material, because and as well as keeping the creativity, because everybody wants unique designs with a very competitive price, and that's a challenge in India to give in a competitive price. But if we can collectively keep everything under one zone, which currently everything is scattered here,
So you
like
mean
other countries that
you mean to say, like China, if we could have like large scale zonal areas where one could go and source furniture, lighting.
we need to align that
So
we
we
all.
could have dedicated markets or zonal areas for that. Is
Yes.
that what you're trying to imply?
So I would love to have that, instead of we going outside taking our customer to different countries, why not other countries can come to our own zone, and we make something world class infrastructure for one stop solution, where you get designers, you get all the raw material product under one zone. So they spend quality time there. I know that's what we are doing from over the years. And
Yeah.
being a creative country, we have amazing talent here, where we can really make difference to this industry. And this is a great opportunity. I think COVID has given us a thought, and I think we should take advantage of this and go to the next level.
Yeah. So taking on from here, I'd like to now invite Mr. Ashok Kulevia. You as a designer, Pritesh Design, and we need people to execute, what we design. And Mr. Ashok, you play a very, very important role in the entire chain, where you, get things executed on site. I like to first understand that from a COVID situation that has brought us to a lot of challenges. What challenges is you are facing as a large scale manufacturing unit? And what is your opinion on what needs to be done to make India as the next manufacturing hub globally?
Hi, everyone. So, as Ankit and earlier Pritesh also said, yes, there is a huge amount of material that comes to India from abroad. There's, I would say, good 60-70% does come from China, but about 30% also comes from a lot of different countries in Europe. And the last 15-20 years, the whole process has become so smooth that we're all used to it. We just order it, and month or two, based on the location, the material is there with us. Now, obviously, with this whole COVID, the situation has changed. I remember somewhere in Jan, Feb, We have a huge factory in Mumbai. So we also do hospitality projects, and a lot of our clients came to us saying that, look, China is giving us a problem. So would you be able to do this furniture for us? So we all got excited that yes, this is a good opportunity. But then suddenly the market also changed. China opened up pretty fast. Europe shut. Now what's happening is, the world has changed. Everything is at the stagnant level. So India has got this amazing opportunity, and especially our industry, where we can do a lot of backward integration with respect to everything. It's not only about what we are manufacturing, but the raw material as well. As what's happening is, somewhere the whole ease with which metal could come earlier was one of the most important factor why we never explored what we can do in India. Obviously we're still way behind when it comes to larger factories, larger processes. We're still learning, but I think that is changing. The new factory, for example, that we've put up in Mumbai, we can actually do products and give the same quality and finish that you can get from Europe, not only China, but from Europe. So the earlier question that you asked, the three main factors are time, quality, as well as the price. Price was never an issue with India. Time is still good. The major issue that was always there was, can India produce at the same quality which China can do or which Europe can do? I think with newer machines and infrastructure that we adding, we can do that definitely. Obviously, in the last 1 month or so, we have heard Mr. Narendra Modi continuously speak about, self-do it, local, vocal, Atmanirbhar. These are the things, messages that we'll have to now push it through. Once we do this, the mindset will start changing. Obviously, with the whole conflict that's going on with the border issue with China, and the government taking initiatives to ban a lot of imports that are coming from China, it's a good opportunity for manufacturers in India to take that step forward and say that, look, I can do this for you. Why to go to China? And somewhere we Indians are also now slowly getting a little more passionate about our own nation and said, look, I don't want to buy this from China. I don't know how much will it really help, but how Gandhiji said, wear khadi and just give away everything else that's coming from the Britishers. Same way, maybe this whole generation and the whole country will come to this level where we'll say, okay, let's start building this in India, or we've got a lot of designers who are now saying that, why don't you suggest something that's locally available? And it's not that we can't manufacture anything in India that's not world class. When we've seen that, we're slowly changing. The government is giving a lot of initiatives. We are not aware. The largest issue that any manufacturing plant, I'll just finish it, is that we don't have the amount of money that's needed. The capital is always an issue, but yes, the government has given us a lot of initiatives, a lot of tax benefits that are there. We have Miraj over here, who is the CEO of Welspun, and Welspun has started this whole range of carpet and wooden flooring and laminate flooring. And I've been using his products in the last 5-6 months, and we're so excited because it comes from Hyderabad. The transportation time is not more than 2 days across India. From China or from Europe, it's ideally a month. And I've met him now, but I know that he's ready to give me whatever I need. So I'm more than happy dealing with Indians because the trust is there. We as Indians are looked more trustworthy than China, unfortunately for them. So these are things that can give us an impetus to, rise up to the occasion and do something better.
That's the
Like for example,
let's insight into the manufacturing side of it, Mr. Ashok. Now, I would also like to shift the focus on two aspects. You mentioned about the prefabricated interior structures, and that has been one of the key focus. And the second part is in terms of pricing, the same question that I had asked Pritesh. Now, quality is, yes, one aspect of it. How do you see technology playing a role in us becoming self-sufficient? And secondly, in terms of pricing, mass production, what's your opinion on that? And also, I've combined too many questions, but the last thing is that as a large-scale manufacturing unit, there are what would be your advice to a lot of mid-level or small-scale manufacturers for making their organizations made in India alive?
See, the first question that you asked was about technology. Obviously, it's going to be the key factor. We all know that globally, whatever technology you are in, it's largely driven by the Indian IT companies. The Indian IT engineers back it, be it Google, be it Apple, be it Microsoft. It's the Indians who are driving these technological changes. Yes, we are not all used to these, technology gadgets. And 3 months back, 4 months back, before COVID, how many of us knew what is a Zoom call or what's a video call? We would struggle with calls, but very fast. So obviously, we'll all get used to these things and get this for a better use. Or even just app that got launched very quickly. We all know how to use it now. So technology will drive everything. We can get used to it. With respect to your second question was about how about pricing and mass manufacturing. We can do that. I mean, India has got potential. We've got a huge amount of labor force that's available to all of us. It's just about using them in a right way and educating the workforce of the importance of these technology and machines and how you can just make your life easy. Lastly,
Sorry.
sorry.
I don't know if
Because
somebody has asked this question that how do you see the job segment shaping up in the industry now? Of course, we'll be focusing on the tech side, but we have seen a lot of losses in jobs across the industry. So could you briefly also answer this question?
See, somewhere globally, the entire economy has taken a hit because of this COVID. We were all, cruising at a nice speed, and not only India, but globally, it has taken a huge impact. So there would be a small, glitch here with respect to jobs. We would have lost a lot of jobs, and there would be a slowdown. But I don't think this would be more than a couple of months more. And people who lost their jobs will obviously come back stronger and work harder to ensure that next time anything of this sort happens, I don't lose my job. So a sense of responsibility will get generated in the youth also to take their job seriously, because somewhere the amount of work that we were doing in India was so much that there was always a job for everyone, whether he did it right or not. There was always an opportunity, but obviously this will make us more responsible towards our job profile and the responsibility that we have to do.
Well said. So I'd like to now introduce our last panelist, Mr. Miraj Hassan. As I had introduced earlier, he is the Chief Marketing Officer at Welspun. Now, Miraj, we've spoken to Pritesh, who's the designer. We've spoken to Ashokji, who manufactures, and you play a very important role because you make the products that goes into spaces. Now, tell us firsthand what are the challenges that you're facing within Welspun, and what is your take on Make in India, and how do you see the way ahead?
So hi everyone, and first of all, thanks Ashok for that remark about us. Appreciated, much appreciated, and of course always there to support. And love the fact that you are finding our products very innovative and interesting. So that's and just going back to your question now, Preksha, is so yeah, as Ashok very nicely and earlier Pritesh very nicely summed up what's happening. It's something. I mean, it's bigger than what's World War. I mean, world has only seen such a big event so far, and after that, this is the. So of course, everyone is affected in every sphere, whether it's work, whether it's education, whether it's personal life, whether it's emotional life, everything is kind of affected. So from our perspective, I think what the challenge is that, so we took it as a challenge, as every good organization does. And what immediately we did 2-3 things to ensure that things are going smoothly for us. Of course, business slowed down. That's the reality. But it also gave us time to pause and think, as Pritesh was earlier saying, it's the time to pause and rethink everything. So that's what we did. We did a continuous 14-day workshop with all the senior management people, stakeholders. We would be meeting like for 1 hour every day, and we laid down a strategic roadmap on what needs to be done in this new scheme of things. How do we kind of do a complete turnaround of business? It can't be done the same way because this is a new way. So what is the new way? So we decided a few things. So I'll just take you through the example. So of course, one very critical thing that came out is digital is the road ahead. And I'll touch upon it later because I will also touch upon it as a marketer would. But I'll first come to the product part of it. So what we did immediately, we went into this whole huddle and we started saying that, hey, let's make products, because flooring is something which over a period of time can get susceptible to, germs and microbes, especially soft flooring and things like that. So we immediately went back and started doing this whole R&D and our product development team moved very fast. So today I can say with extreme happiness that yes, day before yesterday, I got the result for hard flooring. Both are soft and hard flooring, which is carpet tile, wall to wall, and click and lock, the SPC, the hard click and lock tile. Are all three products, soft and hard, are antimicrobial today. It's proven. We have tested it in the US. It got it tested because we had already sent it before when the time was still, things were still moving. So we have antimicrobial certification, which will be there around July 15th. So that is the need of the hour. I think that will be something which will be taken very well. So as manufacturers, that's what we did in the first thing from the product and R&D part of it. Second thing that we quickly moved on was we came up with something called, and if time permits, I'll take you through the video, which is a 1.5 minutes video that we made, is we created a specific design called Spatium 6. Now, Spatium is Latin for space, and 6 is 6 feet, which is the distance that you need today between each other. It's a design which we made out, concept which we made out in terms of flooring in office, that, you know, the way you have outside ATMs and shops, these circles and squares in which you stand and then you're away at 6 feet distance from each other. We have made that kind of a design using our flooring so that people automatically, so design can change behavior, you know. That's what happens when these things. So we have embarked on that journey with that insight, that we will design our flooring in such a way that, you know, social distancing is met. We have put arrows so that you only walk in one direction, because if you're walking in two directions, the chances of, you know, meeting each other is higher. So anti-clockwise is what we've done. So from the design perspective also, we created a new range, and that is seeing a lot of traction from all the webinars that we've been doing about this whole aspect. So that is the second immediate step that we did. The third immediate step that we did in terms of, you know, the installation. So it's all about distancing and people not going out and people not coming in. But our job is to install floors, so which means you have to get inside, right, the house or the office. So we created the entire SOP for, you know, safe installation. Our installers are totally geared up in the right kind of safe installation by kind of spraying the all the right material. So we recently, in fact, 20 days back, we did an installation in a lady's house in Delhi. She's a kind of social media influencer also. So she was also very impressed across all social media handles that, you know, the safe installation. So, and finally coming to the digital part of it. The digital part of it is the way ahead. I mean, people's media consumption behavior has completely changed. As Ashok pointing out, we know how to do this now. This has become an everyday life for us, what we are doing currently.
Just to add on to what you're saying, because digital presence also plays a very, very important role in changing the perception. I think, you know, the most important thing today about going made in India is to first completely, you know, have awareness and then change the perception. What COVID has brought is the awareness that, you know, this is the need of the hour. And, you know, I completely agree with you that, you know, what you have pointed out, I'd like to just summarize that innovation, number one, where, you know, you're looking at R&D of the materials, you're looking at how to make it more hygiene oriented. You know, number two, where you're looking at, you know, all channelizing all the processes in your manufacturing unit. And number three is to have a digital presence, which is giving the right message across, that you as a brand, you know, believe in the ethos of made in India, and you're proud to be, you know, an Indian manufacturer. Now, very briefly, I would like to, you know, point out on something, and if you could answer that, how do you see yourself competing with the imported brands, you know, from outside, from different countries, like, you know, interior products? And
so, well, Preksha, I mean, I can proudly say we are very proud about the fact and this made in India part of it. And in fact, we have been doing that kind of a campaign also on our social media handles, if you guys have noticed. And the fact remains that in this part of the world, we are the only manufacturing unit making hard and soft flooring at this level.
yeah.
I mean, you know, I mean, while Interface and Mohawks of the world, they do their carpet tiles and, you know, India imports, and that means that longer gestation period, you know, cost effectiveness also, and imports and stuff. we are going to cut down. Last Ashok mentioned.
And I'd like to take Ashok also in the conversation.
Yes.
As both of you are from the manufacturing, backgrounds, please try and point out on one thing that when we say we need to do this, we need a lot of support from the government. Infrastructure support, policy regulations. What kind of support do you think should be offered by government across industry to large manufacturers, to small unit, to mid-level people? Please give your inputs on same.
See, I think government has already started a lot of initiatives. The major issue that I think we're facing is lack of awareness as to what schemes are available across the country. India is a large and complex country. It's not just one rule fits everyone. So the rules and regulations do changes from states to states also. But I think the last and the best thing that the government can do post this is, kind of get this whole process approval much faster, from getting the land to subsidizing electricity. Already loans have already come down, loan rates have come down. Also, if the government can help with, basic things like, faster approval of electricity availability. How Japan changed after the World War II, the whole industry had collapsed in Japan, but the government just decided that they have to do it. So they invested a huge amount of effort done in manufacturing, steel, rail, networks, roads. That helped the entire economy grow so fast in the 60s and 70s and 80s that in 80s, Japan was one of the top, second or third probably largest economy in the world.
Yeah.
So if the government does, obviously started these initiatives, but a lot more push will be needed, because we are a huge labor-oriented country. We saw all the migrant laborers across the country. So, how can they generate these jobs for them with respect to manufacturing industry, and get them faster approvals, cut the red tape processes? That will really help us, I would say.
I'd also like to take in the loop because, then have Miraj as well. Ankit, what's your opinion on this? Considering that financial implications to go made in India is very important. What kind of benefits do you see that can be availed from the government?
So the government has come up with a lot of initiatives, and they are also extending it to state-wise, as we've already seen in Uttar Pradesh. That a lot of companies are shifting from China to Uttar Pradesh specifically, and they're making a tailor-made specifically requirement for each and every industry, and they're making a cluster altogether that where everything can be in-house, can be produced. So that is what they're trying to do now. They're more open-friendly now. They want to discuss and take the things forward. So they're very aggressively in doing such kind of an investment. And secondly, what I can say is that there's a lot of opportunity in the terms of collaboration. There will be a lot of, in 2 years, whoever is going to sustain in these 2 years will have to work on collaboration. Without collaboration, people are not going to sustain now. So you'll have to look for opportunities, partnership from abroad, and you'll have to bring that investment in India. And the government is more than happy to get the investments in India. So that is what my one take is, that everybody should be open, eyes here, and everything should be open, that how we can collaborate and bring the technology from abroad to India. And the challenge here, what the FDIs are facing is very simple, that they have a brief mindset that in India, if we do something, there's a challenge of land reforms, labor reforms, and the biggest challenge what they face is, if some technology is given to India, there's a lot of people who copy that technology.
Yeah.
So that is the biggest challenge. So that judicial system has to be built in, so that the copyright does not get infringed for the people. And then there's competition from the countries like Bangladesh, but then Bangladesh has a very small population as compared to India. So India is at a very good stage as far as manufacturing is concerned. And the density of the population, the working density of the population, the demographic is very favorable in India. What China had in 1990s till date is what we are entering in 2016. So China is going to finish that phase in 2022, and we're just starting now, and we're going to go till 2053. So it's a huge space which we are entering into, and a lot of opportunities there. And China specifically grew in manufacturing. Why? Because there was a basic closed net. Like all the major companies was held by the government. They were not held by the private players. So once you see the top 25 companies of China, the majority stakeholders were government. So they had got big orders. But once it comes to India segment, what I can see is that there's a lot of private participation, which brings a lot of innovation into the product. which keeps the mind very open to create, like how Miraj and all are doing it. So innovation is the key here. And secondly, that the middle income trap, we are not in the middle income trap. So we are moving from we have already achieved the agriculture, we've already achieved good number in the service sector. What we are trying to pull from China is that the manufacturing of the lower manufacturing, what I could say, because now there's a dispute between America and China, and there's friendship between America and India. The reason behind is that USA initially shifted the manufacturing from USA to China, right? When they wanted to move more towards the service industry. Now what has happened is that China is getting hold of the manufacturing, and now they want to get into a bigger manufacturing, which US does not want, because US is not able to generate more job opportunities here. So US does not want to give that to China. Now China is want to capture that. India is at a very small stage at manufacturing. So India wants to pick that thing from China back to small manufacturing. This is why India is in a very competitive stage. And secondly, the labor cost is still cheaper in India because the income has not grown in India as compared to China. So still in India, we have a cheaper labor cost to compete with China. Only thing is we have to skill the labor. That will also form part of this particular manufacturing. So a lot of people will get into the skill development also as far as the manufacturing is concerned. So that is one area which can be built in as far as the manufacturing is concerned. So a lot of initiatives have been done by government in those fronts.
I'd like to now take it to Miraj. Miraj, what is your opinion on this? Where do you see the government, what kind of reforms, policies should be initiated by the government other than the financial support? What are the other reforms that government could extend?
Yeah, so there are certain areas. See, the government already actually is currently very, very technologically savvy. So that is one aspect which they are already into, and I think that tech savviness should also permeate down to all the industries, so that the whole smoothness of operation should be on. Like the way we have learned to, as a corporate house and as working people, we have learned to do this whole Zoom call and work meetings like this. And it has been enabled by this whole high-speed internet and all of that. So tech part of it is something which government needs to kind of really support. Yeah. There are policies, of course, we also always say, and as Ashok pointed out, people are not aware of it. So we also need those policies to, government should become a little vocal about what are the things that they are doing and how people can kind of get benefits from that. So something that I think needs to be done. Because many people, I mean, I'm talking to other colleagues and people around who are working or who are running business and stuff. They're also a little bit unaware of what can be done in this. So I think that's where they need to do some kind of work in terms of, projecting the whole right things I mean, I was talking to my finance person and he gave me 10 pointers that I was not aware of. And then I asked others. So I think, that needs to be done. Maybe a sort of a webinar from the government, for the industry, that, from the government, they should be talking about it.
The government in the panel.
Yes, yes. So those are the things that I think they need to do. And you touched upon something which I would like to just address, that, Indian-made stuff is seen as kind of not as great quality, which kind of, but things are changing, you see. I mean, with things like Tata, I mean, getting whatever the Harriers of the world and Nexon, which is considered the safest car in India. No other car has passed that test, And then we have done a lot of other moves in the startup zone, like whether it's Urban Clap, whether it's even Ola. Okay, of course, it got inspired. But Baiju, these are the things which are giving that quality status to Indian-made stuff or Indian-made ideas or Indian innovation. So I don't think quality will be an issue if we are at it. And young minds are very bright. And as Ashok rightly pointed out, and I think Pritesh or Ankit also pointed out, that now they will become more responsible towards what they have to do, because they know their career is at stake, their job is at stake. They were taking things, this millennial, they take things very easily, they are just easy about things. But with this, I think that kind of sincerity and responsibility part will come in. So great mind, they have interesting minds. Interesting minds combined with responsibility and sincerity will produce great results, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's technology, whether it's music, whether it's art, anything, it will happen.
And now like to bring in Pritesh back in action. So Pritesh, we spoke about, having a dedicated place for sourcing. Like, now we spoke about how manufacturing can happen in one place. We spoke about, help from the government. One of the important thing is that all of this is, like when it comes to products, whether it's lighting, furniture, everything is very scattered when people have to go and source it. And, it will be great in India if we have like larger clusters or dedicated places where people could go and source, good products at good pricing. What's your take on that? How that can be achieved? Please give us your inputs on that.
See, I think it's a broad way of saying, because interior product, when you design a residence or a commercial, there are thousands of products. You cannot. So what I was trying to put here is, why not designer closely work with manufacturer, and why not manufacturer closely work with designers? Because this is the right time to work collaboratively, and this is where the creativity and the collaboration will connect with each other and give results. So what you are talking about is the market, but what I'm talking about is when if I have a client, rather than I take them outside country, why not I bring them to a manufacturing unit where everything is available?
But if you have a dedicated market, it would be easier to bring the clients there to see like how in China you have like kilometers and kilometers of
Right. For example, if I say we all know that we get ceramics in Morbi, why not we create something where we get lights in some particular states, or we get furniture in one particular zone, and that will make huge difference in terms of comfort level of our own. Because if you see, when you go to Milan and when you go to China, I've been to both these places, and the way they welcome Indians, designers and architects, I think sometimes they are looking for us to travel there all the way. Why not we all own Indians, designers as well as architects, give awareness to our own clients and make sure that if we get if the manufacturer is expecting all the needs and the budget part, I think we can make a lot of difference in terms of making this all the process very smooth, and make it easier.
Yes, I agree completely, and it will also give a very good platform for a lot of small designer makers, manufacturers, craftsmen to bring forward, because made in India shouldn't be just about mass production or large scale manufacturing or streamlined, products like what Wellspun have. I think we could also explore areas where, crafts and smaller designer makers are also facilitated towards this. What's your input on that?
So I think right from young generation, what Miraj spoke, all are very creative. We Indians are more creative, and in last 2 months we have understood everything. Like I'll take my example. Being in creator, what designer will do at home, they will sketch or they will make some art. But now the time has changed. This break has given us a lot of things. So suddenly I became a chef from a cook. So,
Yeah.
So everybody, this young generation will also understand, it's a time for us to
Their
prove,
hair on their own.
yeah, to prove themselves that, it's an opportunity for all of us, not only juniors, but seniors. Like initially we used to always promote manufacturers, but it's time for manufacturers also to promote designers now, because that's where the collaboration will happen. That's where the key will happen. And why we as a designer want to go all the way out of the country to look for another manufacturer, where we have our own good manufacturer who can deliver the product which our clients are looking at that particular budget. And I think that is possible.
We have Mr. Ashok and we have Miraj here who are into the manufacturing.
Yeah.
So I hope they are hearing this out, that designers need to be involved with product manufacturing and also manufacturing processes. And Ankit, you also play a very important role, because understanding finance and money is not easy. So you play a very important role in this as well.
Yeah, like how we have in Morbi, there's a cluster formation done. So what happens in the cluster is that a common facility is given by the government, which can be used by all the members of the cluster. So such kind of clusters can be planned and made as far as this industry is concerned. So like what my friend was saying regarding the lighting industry or the tiles industry or some, so all the clusters formation is what is required at this stage of time. The government have the policies in place.
So also one point I would like to suggest to the manufacturer, we always say, our labor cost is higher. That's what market speaks about. But I think we have got amazing talent, craftsmanship, and the labor quality we have in our country. If you can keep something called a skill development program, in your own this thing. I think this can make huge difference in terms of what expectation our clients are looking and what as a designer we are looking in terms of delivering the project, because whenever they are hiring us, they have huge expectation from a designer. They want something unique and out of the box in a particular budget. So that's always a challenge for the designer. So if you can act on this, focus on this part, I think it will make a huge difference in the industry.
So I have a question from Devendra Pancharia here. We are starting the Q&A session now, since we have around 10 to 12 minutes left for the session. So it's open for all the people to ask questions. So please post your questions in the Q&A section here. The question here is, what do we do about labor skill development? It's a big problem. Now, Mr. Ashok, like, you have a large force of labor working with you in the factory, on the side. How do you see that at one side you have to do tech development, you know, everything is getting automized. And on the other side, we also need to retain this ability of India where we have a large labor force. You know, so where do you see, manufacturers investing in skill development of labor?
So, earlier about which I'm saying 20 years, 30 years back, most of the guys working in these manufacturing units would be the small time guys in that local village, or they were not really educated. So it would make a small difference because they didn't know what actually a machine can do. Now, if you go to Germany or any of the European countries, you'll see that the guys working on these machines are probably engineers and probably done masters, So what happens is they know what this machine is doing, and that just helps them run it in a way. What's happening now in India is the new generation, even with the labor that's coming up, they're all educated. They're not engineers probably, but they are still, done a good amount of education. So they come prepared with that mindset, and it's much easier to train them. Skill development, the scheme that is there by the government is a pretty much, it's a good scheme where government is actually pushing us. So we also do that. We train our carpenters.
Programs for labor skill development, in your own setup.
Yes. Yeah, we have it, and we're one of the members of the Skill Development Council, which is there. What we're doing is, we get a set of new, fresh guys. We do them basic training with them for about 2 to 3 months. Then a lot of our machines are from a German company. They have a huge training center in Bangalore. So we send them for 3 months of training. So they, for a period of 3 months, they only learn the intricacies of the machines. What is a machine going to do? How does it, operate on its own? What happens if it's breaking down? So these are initiatives that we are taking at a large level. With respect to work that happens at site, with the help of some of our suppliers, large suppliers like Saint-Gobain, we hold classes for them. We hold training sessions for them as to how exactly smaller changes in the way you work can, let you finish the work faster. My dad has worked half his life on machines, and he always told me one thing, if a work can be done in 6 hours, do it in 6 hours, rest for the next 6 hours, don't drag it for the 12 hours. This mindset is changing in the new generation of labor that's coming because they are all educated and they know the basics and the importance of doing the work faster and not just burning your body. So I think the government schemes are slowly going to take a huge effort, and we'll be able to change this mindset of the new generation of labor.
Now when, the labor is going to come back to work, a greater sense of well-being and skill development should be a very big focus in the industry, because what I feel is Made in India cannot work in isolation. All the stakeholders have to play a very responsible part in it, whether it is, government as a godfather, and the designers, financial help from people like Ankit, and, manufacturers like you and Miraj, product companies. Everybody has to align their thought processes and take pride in making effort to align the spine, basically.
I would like to add to this thing. See, what is happening is a lot of fear in the mind of people that if things are going to get an automated zone, I will lose my job. So this particular mindset has to be changed, and that can be done by skill development. Why India is at a manufacturing level is that because of the cheap labor. And if we go completely automatic, what is going to happen is that we will not going to get work from outside. Because if people like Europe and America come to know that it's all automated, then why do we need India to manufacture? India manufacturing is needed only because of cheap labor. correct. So we need to build that mindset into the heads of the people that, boss, you are important part of the manufacturing. That is very important thing which we should build into the people mind while doing the skill development. That is what my take on this is.
And I think just to add, what's happened is in this entire lockdown, what we saw, the amount of migrant laborers who went back, most of the industries, be it our industry, which is, furniture related, or you talk of the real estate industry, everything is shut because the laborers have not come back. Somewhere the entire country has realized the worth of labor. So I think it's time we start respecting them and start giving them the dues and the appreciation for the work that they're doing. So this is going to make them make positive, mindset, and then just train them a little bit. I think we're good to go.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Raj and Pritesh, would you like to add anything to it? We have another 5 minutes. I'll request everybody to put questions in Q&A if there's any last questions for the panelists here.
I think we can also
Anything to add, Ankit and Ashok, they have kind of nicely summed up the question that was asked.
Okay. So I would like to now, as a concluding last 5 to 7 minutes, I'd like each one of you to give, your last takeaways for Made in India, what COVID has taught you very briefly, what is the shift in perception, and how do you think that all of us, as I mentioned, all of us needs to work towards it, how we can achieve this dream of becoming completely Atmanirbhar and self-reliant?
I think if I can start here, when the lockdown started, probably before the lockdown, we were all used to eating outside, order a pizza, order Chinese, go out to a restaurant, eat an ice cream. We just used to it. We never thought that it was so difficult. Suddenly in the month of April, we realized that you can't order Chinese, you can't have a pizza. So what do? As Pritesh said, from a cook, he became a chef. So people like me who didn't know how to cook thought, okay, it's time to learn how to cook. So we all adjusted, and we suddenly realized that a homemade pizza or homemade Chinese is not as bad as we thought. So we all learned. Now, just relate that to our manufacturing industry. We were used to getting stuff from China, stuff from Europe. I think even with some little trial and error, we won't be able to reach it in a day. It'll take us some kind of, iterations, some mistakes, but if we start this self-belief that yes, India can do it, and we're not less than anyone, that approach, maybe a couple of trial and errors will help us reach the level that we want to do, and suddenly we'll realize that we're not bad and we're good with respect to what we can manufacture in India. I think that's the key takeaway, I would say.
So just to add to Ashok, very nicely, the simile is very nice. Absolutely, the way we changed ourselves, and that's what is needed. Here's the thing, I think it's the way you look at it. Every challenge, every downside has an upside. So that's the whole idea here. You look at it in a positive way. This is the chance for us to make great things happen inside this country. And with the right kind of workforce and intelligence, with the young minds and training and the government support, why will it not happen? Positivity is the key to go through this phase or any other phase. That's the only answer. I mean, there's no other answer than being positive about going ahead and doing things ourselves. And with the right kind of appreciation to the young force and right kind of policies from the government, it's absolutely going to happen. We all learn to, just to add to Ashok, we all learn to clean our houses and keep it neat and span without anybody's help. I mean, that's the human beings adapt. That's the beauty of which is why we have been around for so long and we will be around. So this is just a phase, as Pritesh also initially said, it will pass, and it has come here to make us stronger as a country. As
learning to take the learning from this experience and apply it in the way forward, and that is the right thing to do.
So what I like to add is, I've been motivating my young team. I always tell them, today's scenario is there is nothing called junior and senior. We all are in the same sail. Now it's time for all of us to explore our creativity, collaborate, and just move ahead. And I think if we just think two things, collaborate and explore our creativity, I think we can make huge difference in the scenario. A lot of people are talking about, kya hoga na? We normally chat with our own friends, in our own colleagues. Market pause, luxury item hai, what will happen? And I'm telling you, India is such a beautiful country. Once the government opened the lockdown, if you see amount of people roaming around, no doubt it's not safe. But if you take a precaution and if you move ahead, and if you explore the creativity and the collaboration, I think it's a time for all of us to come together and make sure that world looks at us and not we look to the world.
Yeah.
Last thoughts from Ankit.
Yeah, I would like to sum it up that the government is very open now as far as the reforms are concerned, and taking my view that we have majority of the, and not politically I'm going, but majority of the states are held by the BJP parties, and the center also has the BJP. So they're aligning a lot of policies together. So there's nothing to fear how the cluster will develop, how the manufacturing industry or the cluster will develop. So we have to be very positive, and we have to start working and start creating the collaborative environment to grow together. That is what is the end crux of what we're doing, because we are entering in a very beautiful stage of our life where India is going to shoot up like anything.
So last point I would like to add is we have already started training the artisan as well as the different manufacturer. This can make you different. So we are personally involving ourselves to make sure that we skill those fine tuning can be done from our side as expert, and then we can bridge the gap between the manufacturer and the designer, and we can give the perfect solution what customer is looking for.
Okay, so to summarize today's discussion, what if I could put it in the right word is that we need to come together as a community, as a tribe, where all of us have been sort of forced to look inward, slow down, look inwards, rethink, realign, and as Ashok said, rightly, that we need to take pride in being Indian. And when we shift our perception, things start changing because we start seeing things differently. So whether it is designing, where Pritesh gave us his inputs, whether it is, getting the financial resources, where Ankit gave us really great inputs, and the manufacturing and the product side of it, where Ashok and Miraj gave their inputs. I feel that what we need to do is to align, all the different stakeholders towards the same goal, and things will start changing. It might be slow, it might be steady, but the path is there. The path has been given, and we just need to now start walking on that. So I think we'll conclude the session today. I'm grateful to all the panelists to take out their time. We had a great discussion, and I hope you also enjoyed. Any last notes would you like to say to the participants here before we end the session?
Well, I would like to say that stay safe, maintain social distancing, and keep the positivity alive in you. That's the only thing that takes us through life.
Yeah.
You have to go ahead, and that's what we will do together.
Thank you, Miraj.
So
I think stay safe is the biggest message that we all should be serious about, because it's not just for yourself but for your family, for your friends. I think that's important.
So
Thank you, Ashok.
So I would like to say that stay safe, be Indian, buy Indian, and make this proverb of making India more healthy and as a team, and go ahead and let's explore the world.
From my side, it will be let's get greedy, let's get more focus on creating more productivity, and let's show to the world that we are here and we are the one who are going to be in the world now.
So great. Thanks, Ankit. So on this positive note, taking pride of being Indian, I'd like to end the session here. Thank you all very much. Thank you all the participants for logging in and seeing the webinar today. And thank you, Global Advertisers. It was a great session. Thank you.